On September 19, 2005, two undercover soldiers belonging to the esteemed British Special Air Service embarked on a covert mission dressed in traditional Arab garments to blend in with the local environment. Their objective was to monitor an Iraqi police officer suspected of engaging in corrupt and brutal activities within the city of Basra. However, an unfortunate turn of events occurred when the soldiers were stopped at a roadblock by a group of Iraqi police officers. In response to the encounter, the SAS soldiers opened fire, resulting in the injury and death of at least one Iraqi police officer. The ensuing chaos led to their arrest and subsequent detention at the Al-Jamiat police station. These two SAS operatives were part of Operation Hather, a mission specifically designed to surveil the suspected corrupt Iraqi police officer. The relationship between the British forces and the Iraqi police was already strained, and tensions escalated when the Iraqi officers attempted to remove the disguised SAS soldiers from their vehicle. Faced with the threat, the SAS soldiers resorted to using lethal force, which tragically led to the loss of two policemen's lives. Realizing the gravity of the situation and the pursuit by the Iraqi police, the SAS soldiers decided to halt their escape and attempt negotiation. However, they were met with violence and apprehended by the Iraqi police. In response to the urgent need for rescue, a deployment was organized. 20 members of a Squadron 22nd SAS Regiment, accompanied by a platoon of paratroopers from the Special Forces Support Group, were swiftly dispatched from Baghdad to Basra. Simultaneously, other SAS operators located the detained soldiers at the Al-Jamiat police station and urgently called for the Quick Reaction Force, or QRF, stationed in Basra to aid in the operation. To provide real-time surveillance during the mission, a Predator drone and Lynx helicopter fed live footage to the UK Joint Operations Command. Intelligence received by the coalition forces suggested that the Iraqi police chief was colluding with insurgents, particularly the Mahdi Army, a Shia militia supported by Iran. This heightened the sense of urgency and danger surrounding the situation, as the Shia insurgents held a strong animosity toward the British forces. The SAS, along with the Special Boat Service, SBS, and the Special Reconnaissance Regiment, SRR, had been relentlessly targeting the insurgents as part of a comprehensive counterinsurgency campaign. Given the imminent threat of torture and execution faced by the SAS soldiers if not promptly rescued, negotiation was not a viable option. To ensure the safety of the soldiers, British tanks and infantry established a secure perimeter around the police station, where the SAS operatives were being held captive. Meanwhile, plans for a daring rescue operation were meticulously devised. However, as tensions escalated, a crowd gathered and launched an attack on the armored vehicles using stones and patrol bombs. 3 British soldiers sustained injuries, and reports indicated the loss of life among 2 demonstrators. Amidst this volatile situation, the SAS soldiers were taken hostage, while 2 officers from 12 Brigade HQ risked their lives to deliver an ultimatum to the prison authorities. Subsequently, the SAS captives were relocated to a safe house in Basra. Intelligence gathered from the Lynx helicopter confirmed that the 2 SAS prisoners had been moved to a nearby house, raising grave concerns that they might face execution at the hands of Iraqi Hezbollah. Consequently, the rescue plan underwent revision, with a smaller team from a squadron collaborating with regular Army personnel and vehicles to assault the prison, while the main SAS ground force focused on targeting the house. Under the cover of darkness, around 9 p.m., the British Army launched a meticulously orchestrated assault on both the prison and the house. Remarkably, the SAS encountered no resistance during the assault on the house, successfully locating the 2 prisoners who were confined in a locked room. The successful rescue operation drew mixed reactions and sparked controversy. Mohammed al-Wali, the governor of Basra province, condemned the operation, labeling it as barbaric, savage, and irresponsible. Initially, the Ministry of Defense denied storming the prison, but later justified the action by emphasizing the imminent threat to the soldiers' lives and the infiltration of illegal militia groups within the police force. The rescue, a delegation consisting of officials and diplomats, was dispatched to the police station in Basra, where the detained men were held, accompanied by a contingent of troops. However, they were unexpectedly ambushed by a hostile mob, instigated by militants who provided them with petrol bombs. The situation rapidly descended into chaos. Amidst the turmoil, 2 warrior fighting vehicles were swiftly engulfed in flames, A harrowing image etched in memory depicted a soldier, his uniform on fire, forced to hastily escape through the hatch of his armored vehicle and roll on the ground to extinguish the flames. This iconic moment came to symbolize the Iraq occupation. Fortunately, his comrades rescued him, and a tactical retreat was enacted. Disturbing rumors circulated, suggesting that the captives would be relocated. The SAS commanders feared that their men might vanish or face execution. As darkness enveloped the area, a convoy of 10 armored vehicles, carrying SAS operatives, returned to the scene. They forcefully bulldozed through a 6-foot wall to access the compound. The specialized forces swiftly spread out, employing stun grenades, and with helicopters hovering above, they successfully located and extricated the hostages. Remarkably, no British servicemen sustained significant injuries. It is worth noting that although the SAS commander initially authorized the raid, retrospective permission was later granted by top military base back in the UK. However, those who were present confirmed that the operation was already well underway before official approval was obtained. An insider from the SAS revealed, the approval was given retroactively because the operation was a success. But if it had failed, the consequences would have been severe. There was a cost to this daring rescue mission. Amidst the chaos, approximately 100 prisoners managed to escape, prompting furious demands from Iraqi locals for compensation to cover the damages incurred. Nonetheless, insiders argue that the consequences of inaction on the Army's reputation would have been far graver. The gravity of the situation became evident when the head of the Army, General Mike Jackson, was informed that the senior ranks of the SAS had been prepared to tender their resignations had permission not been granted in time. Testimonies. The British commandos faced additional torment as the Iraqis subjected them to a series of simulated executions. Recounting their harrowing experience after their rescue, one of the commandos, McLachlan, said, "They placed a pistol against the back of my head, and then there would be a click. Amidst the cacophony of shouts, I couldn't understand their words. They were fully prepared to execute us." In response to the urgent situation, a team consisting of 20 SAS operators from a squadron and approximately 40 paratroopers from the Special Forces Support Group, or SFSG, swiftly flew to Basra. The SFSG, a specialized unit tasked with providing support to other British Special Operations Forces, joined forces with the SAS in this critical mission. McLachlan said, "I maintain my mental alertness and unwavering faith in my SAS comrades coming to our rescue. However, being at the forefront of this ordeal, I was unaware of the commotion and negotiations taking place," reflecting on his state of mind during the incident. During that September, the SAS leadership made a bold decision, taking the immense risk of staging a mutiny to save their fellow soldiers. Nevertheless, this calculated gamble ultimately paid off. Following the successful operation, the British political and military leadership granted retrospective permission for the rescue attempt. The SAS exemplified their motto, "Who dares wins," as they fearlessly confronted the grave circumstances to achieve victory. All right guys, that wraps up our video for today. If you enjoyed watching this, please do well to give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more.